Magicians have the ability to keep innovating with their amazing skills. And the shows wouldn't have been a success without their amazing magic tricks. But there is always the curiosity to figure out the tricks. So, be it Darcy Oak's famous dove illusion or Stevie Pink's amazing levitation act. Hello and welcome back. And today, we're gonna unlock the most famous magic secrets from Britain's Got Talent show. So, let's get started. The first trick, Darcy Oak's famous dove act. Magicians have been performing the classical dove illusion for centuries, but none has perfected it better than Darcy Oak. If you know Darcy Oak, then you might very well remember his amazing dove illusions, which he performed on Britain's Got Talent show. Here's what he did. First, he takes out a feather, burns it, and magically gets a dove from that burning feather. Then he instantly transforms that dove into two doves and keeps them inside a cage. Similarly, after taking out another bird using a burning feather, he gets an egg from that bird, and from the egg gets a bird again. But now comes the tricky part. He takes out a paper, burns it, and pulls out a cage out of nowhere. And even more so, he converts that cage with a bird inside it into its exact replica. But there's more to his performance. In the last part of his magic tricks, he covers the bird cage placed on the table. Then all of a sudden, a girl comes out of the cage, thus ending this famous illusion. So, how did he do all these tricks at once? Well, let's figure out the secret. To start off, he shows a small feather before lighting it off. Now this feather is made out of a special type of paper known as flash paper. Flash paper is very commonly used by magicians in their magic tricks to create quick large flashes of fire, to hide out the quick moments that create illusion, to keep the audience guessing. So, what did Darcy Oak use the flash paper for? Using the chance of a quick flash of fire, Darcy gets a hold of an invisible thread connected to the dove, and pulls out the dove from his left hand's secret sleeve pocket, all in a fraction of a second. Now to transform that bird into two, you must have guessed it by now. Yes, he has another bird hidden inside his right side pocket, which is evident if we see this frame, where he seems to get a hold of another invisible thread, which is connected to the bird in that pocket. He then pulls it out and keeps one dove behind the other, and creates the illusion of transforming it into two. Moving on, where did that egg in that small bird come from? Well, if you look closely, he already has an egg in his hand, which he must have got from one of his jacket pockets before it gets dropped in his other hand. Also, there's no bird coming out of the egg, it's all coming straight from Darcy's pockets. If we take a close look, we can see that Darcy turned towards the left, and during this moment, he hides the position of his left hand and gets a small bird in that hand. Then he covers his left hand with the other hand, which has an empty eggshell. Here you can clearly see the tail end of the bird. And to get that bird, he simply cracks open the eggshell and drops it on the floor, which can be clearly seen in slow motion, thus making the illusion of getting a small bird from an egg. Now, to bring that small cage, if you look closely, you'll see that Darcy positions his right hand at his back for a moment. And it's during this moment that he hides the folding cage somewhere inside his right hand sleeve. Now, using the momentum of the quick flash fire discussed before, he brings out that folding cage and instantaneously transforms it into a full-sized cage. The bird then moves inside that cage, and Darcy then brings out an exact replica of that cage with a bird inside. Even for this part of the trick, he brings out a folding cage from his back and using a quick flash fire, transforms it into a bigger one and creates an illusion that shocks everyone. Now, you must be thinking, how come another bird appears inside the cage? For this, he uses a folding cage with a bird already fitted inside it, as you can see here. And that bird you see is a fake one and not real, which you can make out by observing carefully that it never moves. Finally, to end the trick, he gets a girl out of the cage placed on the table. Well, even this one's very simple to figure out. First, he covers the cage with a piece of black cloth, And as you can see here, the size of the cage seems to be much longer than it actually is when seen by the audience from the front side. Yes, the cage is a gimmick. And the gimmicks that the cage placed on the table actually has two compartments. The front one, which has the cage that's clearly visible, and the back compartment was the space where the girl was hiding throughout the magic since the start of the show. And only came out at the end to surprise us all. The second trick, Stevie Star, the Regurgitator. If you know anything about the art of regurgitation, then Stevie Star is the name that first pops up in mind. Well, that's because he can swallow anything, be it coins, light bulbs, balloons, nails, billiard balls, and even goldfish, and then regurgitates them. Now, that's a Fear Factor act in which people put all sorts of insects, spiders, and even frogs inside their mouth. But this trick performed on Britain's Got Talent is one notch higher. The magician performed a trick in which he first swallows Amanda's engagement ring. Then he gives her a padlock and tells her to lock the padlock and put it inside his mouth. She then follows it up by putting its key inside his mouth. And obviously, Stevie swallows both the locked padlock and its key separately. Now comes the real magic. He regurgitates the padlock, and what do we see? The padlock now has Amanda's engagement ring enclosed, and later, he follows it up by regurgitating the key as well. So, how did he unlock, make that ring enclosed within the padlock, all inside his stomach? Well, before revealing the secret, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get instant notifications of our new video uploads.
Simon, I'm sure you've experienced things before, live, crazy stuff happening. How does this make you feel right now?
Well, I'm kind of imagining this would be like Mel B's wedding night. A lot of lot of anticipation, not much promise or delivery.
Mel B is out. This is live TV, y'all. This is
Guess
live
what?
TV!
Okay. What's your name, sir?
Nugget.
Nugget? Is that your real name?
My dance name.
What's your real name?
Adair.
Adair.
Yeah.
And where are you from?
Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. What is your big dream?
Teaching kids all over the world, having schools in places for minorities, people that can't afford schools, dance schools, have schools in their neighborhood.
Okay, well, good luck. Off you go.
All right.
Oh, don't get me started. You know what? When I started doing this show, they said, "What do you want to see this year?" And I said, "I want to see things that I've never seen before. I want to see things that I want to say to my kid, you got to see this." And I think you just showed me that because I've never seen anything like that before. Okay.
To take this to the next stage, do you guys do any other style of dance?
Yeah, we do dancehall. We do. We got different type of styles like waving, gliding, all types of styles. We just incorporate the bone breaking style for this show.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it very much.
Allow me to put a reality check on this, because the sadness of what I've just seen is that you guys are actually very good dancers. But for me, it all went wrong when you started the bendy freak show stuff.
I don't, you know what? That's his advice. Yeah. Don't listen to that. I'm telling you, you've got something there. And this is, you know, before I was a judge, I used to sit on the couch. This is when I would scream, "Shut up! It's good!"
Well, let me put it this way.
Did
If
you hear
listen,
what he said? Shut
yeah,
up!
if you listen,
They shut Piers up. This is a first.
Help himself!
Let's vote. Can I start?
yep.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
It's a no for me.
I'm going to say yes. See you in Vegas!